Welcome to Improve Your Study Skills with 10 Clever Apps, which will introduce you to a range of tools which can help to improve how you study and potentially improve your marks. The background to producing the class is based on my recent 2-year postgraduate distance learning studies, which had their own highs and lows, and I soon realised that I would need to get a lot more organised going forwards if I was going to get over the finish line. Thankfully, discovering and using the apps outlined in this class helped me enormously. For once I seemed to have all the information at my fingertips without having to scurry around at the last minute. And because of that, I found the learning process so much more enjoyable and I was getting much better marks. The overall class length is around 25 minutes, so I hope you'll find the time to work through this, try out some of the apps for yourself and see how you can also reap the benefits. Part 2 of the class will follow shortly with some of the other study tips and techniques to add to your toolkit. For now, I hope you will enjoy this class, and on completion, it would be great if you could spend a few minutes on the class project, which will give you a chance to try out a few apps for yourself. For now, thank you for taking this class and good luck. Okay, let's have a look at our first app, which is called the Cold Turkey Blocker. The Cold Turkey Blocker has a free download option, which is more than enough for your needs. And what it does is it lets you block your chosen apps and websites for a time that you specify, which will stop you being able to sort of put your studies to one side while you peek at your Instagram or Facebook, for example, or if you find yourself cruising through your emails when you should be studying. This Cold Turkey Blocker will put a stop to all that for you. It's a very powerful tool. I used it myself. In fact, I set it for just an hour, and it really brought home to me in that time how I'd previously been checking out of my studies. And needless to say, this Cold Turkey Blocker really helped me get some focus going forwards. So it's really worth giving it a try. Okay, so you first of all go to the Cold Turkey Blocker website, which is getcoldturkey.com. As you see, there's a free subscription for blocking websites and apps. If you look at the pricing, there is a pro version as well, but I'd recommend just going for the basic, which is free. If you scroll down a little bit, you'll see what you'll get for the free version, which is more than enough. So you just need to download that and see how you get on. So the next app is Evernote, which is a Chrome app. You may already be using it. It's a great way for keeping notes, storing details of websites, saving articles from the internet as PDFs, and of course taking screenshots. I've personally found Evernote really helpful for being able to quickly return to saved websites, for example, and finding that small, precise detail that I was looking for when I was writing an assignment. So I would highly recommend Evernote. So let's have a look at Evernote. We go to the website, evernote.com, and as you can see, it says you can sign up for free. There are various plans. I would recommend starting with the free version. So as you'll see in the details, the monthly upload limit for basic is just 60 megs, whereas for premium it's considerably greater at 10 gigabytes. This is really important if you find that you need to save quite a few PDFs, say from various websites, to refer to, perhaps if you're writing assignments or they're relevant for your studies. You may find that the basic version you'll quickly use up your allowance. If that's not the case, then of course stick with basic, but it may well be worth that extra investment for premium if it means that you can get all the PDFs you need for future reference. The only downside for me with Evernote was just a little bit frustrating because I created lots of useful, interesting pages full of information for my assignments, which is great, and I could easily find anything I needed by searching for it, of course, but I would really have liked to have been able to reorder the pages or sort them, a bit like data sorting in Excel perhaps, but sorting the pages into an order that was useful for me, and I couldn't find a straightforward way of doing that. If there is a way, then please do let me know. Otherwise, that would be a really useful function for Evernote to build into this app, because in every other respect it really does deliver. Okay, so I'll leave you with that and we'll move on to the next app. Next we have OneNote, which is included in the Microsoft Office suite. Similar to Evernote, OneNote is also great for making and organizing your study notes. Visually, I personally prefer OneNote to Evernote, and within each notebook it's really easy to reorder pages to have them how you would like. But of course that is just my personal choice. Okay, so we just have a basic look at OneNote. What we're looking at here is one of the pages within a notebook. So I've quite literally created a page, given it a title, and then underneath just put in some basic text. And you'll see the title at the top of the page feeds over to the right hand side, which is the index of the pages in your notebook. And then I'm adding another page just so you can see again, put the title at the top, and that appears again in the index on the right hand side. And then to reorder the pages, you just drag up or down to put the pages in the order that you would prefer. And this is just showing you the basic formatting, which you're probably familiar with. Highlighting, bold, underlining, etc. So looking at OneNote in more detail, you can do a lot more with this than just putting in text. It behaves just like a Microsoft Office document, so you can input tables, spreadsheets or whatever. Essentially, if you had some data you wanted to collect to keep for your studies and wanted to keep it all in one place with your notes, then working like this in OneNote is a great solution. You can also insert images or files, file attachments, documents, whatever's relevant for your notebook. So here I'm just inserting an image. And there you have inserting a document. You can either attach it as shown there, and if you double click on it you will go into the document itself. Otherwise you can actually insert it as a printout. It takes a little bit longer and you will get all the text of the document within your note page. Of course that might not be practical for something that's quite lengthy, but if it's just a couple of paragraphs or something, you might prefer just to have the text within your notebook. And again, as the title Study Apps 3 of the page, you can see it in the right hand index in the page index there. Just clicking on there you can actually record audio into this page. So if you had a few notes you wanted to keep handy but you haven't got them written down, you could just talk them into your page. So just have a play around with it. I think you'll find it very handy. Much better than keeping scraps of notes and different manual notebooks, etc. If you can keep all the notes in one place, I think you'll find that really useful. Next we go on to Scrivener. Now you may well have heard of Scrivener, or maybe like myself, this was a whole new discovery and I would say a very lucky find. I have to say the website recently has had a much needed facelift, because before it wasn't very attractive visually, but believe me, what it can do for your assignments and keeping all your documents together, notes together, etc., it's absolutely amazing. Okay, so let's take a closer look. Okay, so we go to Scrivener via the literatureandlatte.com website. Here we are on the main page. Go to Products, where you'll see you have a choice between Scrivener and another product called Scapple. So we go to Scrivener. You'll see on that page you can have a free trial, which I'd highly recommend. Gives you a chance to get familiar with the product. Scroll down. You'll see options for Windows and Mac. I'm a Windows user, so just click on Buy Now just to see what the pricing is. You'll see it's a standard license. It's a one-off payment of $45. Or if you can show that you fulfill the criteria of a student, you can have a slight reduction. Okay, so just taking a very brief look into Scrivener as if you were working on a document. You see on the left hand side at the top there's a draft area in which you can create subfolders of your draft document, maybe chapters, and then further down you'll see a research area which you can open up. This is where you'll save your documents. Now what's happening at the moment, I'm just briefly showing you, you've got your standard formatting options. You can look at your document with different views. You've got subfolders. Then you have your research area where you can save all those PDFs and MP3, MP4, even whatever you want to save. That's PowerPoint saved in there. It just keeps everything for that project all in one place. The next app is called Scapple. It's also available on the Scrivener site, literatureandlatte.com. I don't believe it was around when I was doing my studies, but anyway, it looked like an interesting app. And if you're using Scrivener, this may well be a sensible option if you're wanting to keep basic mind maps or visual notes, because the two will be compatible. Otherwise, I will move on to look at another mind mapping tool, but for now I do think this is worth a mention and bringing to your attention. And in the next video you'll see a little bit more in detail on Scapple. So for the same website as you went to for Scrivener, you select Scapple for products. There you can get a demo, see how it works. You can get a free trial similar to Scrivener, and here's just a few ideas of what you can do with Scapple. It looks quite versatile. And if you scroll to the bottom again, there's an option for Mac and Windows. If you're going to purchase, that's the purchase price on the left, standard license, a one-off payment. On the right, again, if you can verify you're a registered student, you may be eligible for a small discount. The next app is called Mindomo, or however you can pronounce it. I use this quite extensively because I'm a visual learner, and I have one particular mind map which I found really useful as a reference tool. Of course, there are many other mind mapping apps available, and you may well have your own preference, or indeed if you search and look at other mind mapping tools, I'd certainly be interested to know what your preference is, and maybe there are other ones that are new on the market that I wasn't aware of at the time. Anyway, this is just an intro to give you an idea. I would definitely recommend using mind mapping, in particular if you are a visual learner. So let's take a closer look at Mindomo. Go to mindomo.com. First of all, have a look at the pricing, and you see that there's a free version where you get 3 maps, which is more than enough for most people's needs, and I'd highly recommend just going for the free version. As you can see, there's also a premium version at €36 a month. I think it's worth it for what you get, because you can add PDFs, you can add YouTube channels, or all sorts of things to it, so it makes it very exciting. The only thing is, if you're a student on a budget like I was, then maybe the basic version is really all that you might need. It's really down to affordability. So let's actually have a look at one of the maps. I've just made a draft mind map here just to give you an idea. Bear in mind you can make the map as colourful and change the layout as much as you like. There are loads of tutorials, as you can see here, which might give you some ideas as well. Overall, I've found this an exceptionally useful tool. As I say, if you're a visual learner, I definitely recommend some sort of mind mapping tool. This app is called Index Cards, which is a download from the Windows Store. Essentially, it's digital index cards, so you don't need to have any more piles of cards sitting all over the place. And of course, because it's digital, it's a searchable pack of cards, so you don't have to go through each one to find the vital piece of information you're looking for. So let's take a closer look at index cards and let's see what we're getting. So first of all, go to indexcards.ink, I-N-K. That will take you to the site, and then you'll see on the main screen there's an on-screen demo which probably is worth having a little look through. And if you like the look of that, then of course go to the download option to the right hand side and you're done. So here's an example of one of the index cards that you'll make. And you see at the bottom you can create tags which are searchable. On the left hand side you'll see various formatting options. On the right you see flip, so you can go to the back of the card, and of course if you hit the flip again you'll go back to the front. If you like, you can color code your cards, which might be useful if you've got subtopics. Here's a new card. Literally press the plus at the top there, creates a new card. You label it up how you like it. You can give it a tag as before. You can change the color of your text and of course the background. So that was formatting the tag. Flip to go to the back. Creating a new card was hitting the plus sign. So you can see at the bottom there, at the bottom of the screen, you've got now 3 cards within your pack. Give it a tag. You can of course edit or delete the tag. And that's just to show you can have different layouts for your card. You can import an image if you like. And there's various options there. So go back to the top level. There's all the cards in your pack. Plus for a new card. There was an option there to sort your cards if you want to shuffle them up. And if you upgrade to the Pro version at $4.99, I highly recommend that, then you will be able to export your cards to Word, create a searchable Word document which has enormous potential for your studies. So now we're looking at a document which was created by upgrading to the Pro version in your index cards, exporting to a document like this, very simple. It's got every piece of detail as it was on your card, including the tags. Because it's searchable, when you're writing an assignment, for example, and you get somewhere into a section and you're not sure if you've covered all your bases, then you can search a keyword and say like that, for example, Excel, it would take you to the relevant card or cards within your whole stack. And then you'll have peace of mind that you haven't forgotten a vital piece of information. And if you've got the right info on your cards, there may be reference details that you can use, etc. So this is a very, very useful tool, and I highly recommend upgrading to the Pro version at $4.99. This app is called Natural Reader, as it says. It's a powerful text-to-speech reader. Essentially, if you get a little bit tired of reading all the time and you'd like to sit back and listen, then you convert the text to speech. It can be a little robotic, but it's not bad. And like most of the apps, there's a basic version and a premium version. So let's take a closer look. So go to the online reader. Then from here, we're just loading a document up. Okay, there it is, random text .doc. Wait for it to load. Then you see on the top toolbar you select a voice, free voices, there we have, and premium voices. So you've got a much bigger range obviously in premium. So let's listen to a short sample.
Video provides a powerful way to help you prove your point. When you click online video, you can paste in the embed code for the video you want to add. You can also type a keyword to search online for the video that best fits your document.
So here we are with the final app called Tiny Scanner. This lets you scan documents from your mobile to PDF. It's an Android app and you can get this on the Google Play Store. There is a free version, but I'd recommend the Pro version, which was $4.99, When I bought it recently, it actually had a £1 discount. So even at the full price, I definitely recommend getting the Pro version. And if we take a closer look, you'll soon see why. So here we are at the Google Play Store. So first of all, just search for Tiny Scanner. Then go to the second one on the right, which is the Pro version at $4.99, at least it was at the time. See, it's got a very high 5-star rating by over 11,000 reviewers. So here you're using your phone as a scanner. So essentially you're just taking a photo as if it was a camera. Loads up to your mobile. Click the tick to say it's done. You can take multiple pages, align it in your view. You can rearrange the order of the pages, and when you're happy you've got your documents in the right order, you just press the share button so you can send by email or any of the other apps shown on your screen. So now we've reached the end of the class and we've worked through 10 clever apps. I hope you will try out some of these or similar, as these apps can really help you on your road to success with your studies.